See this? Look, can you zoom in on how big this mega stuffed Oreo is? Look how big that is. Huge.
You put the whole thing in your mouth.
That's how people eat it.
No, I eat it. I
You
take
twist
off
it,
the
lick
top,
it.
eat a little bit of the top,
Nobody
eat
got
the
time for that.
center, and then slowly savor. What's that? Coffee?
It's a vegan energy drink.
Vegan.
All right, guys. Welcome.
Welcome to the Julie Show. I'm Julie Freed. My guest is Drew Manning, Fit2Fat2Fit.
It's my dirty vegan week. As you can see, vegan, all the stuff is vegan.
Vegan was a lot harder week. It was harder than I thought because you can't just get vegan food anywhere, right?
Well, some places are pretty accommodating, but every place we went to, I had to ask and had to make sure okay, can you check with the chef, make sure there's no egg in the pasta or the bread? Can you make sure there's no butter or milk used? And it is pretty restrictive. And then even I had to do a ton of research. All right, is this soda vegan? Is that soda vegan? Is this cereal vegan? Because just because it doesn't have any animal products in it, some websites about veganism are pretty strict. Hey, this ingredient is tested on animals, therefore we don't allow it.
Oh, that's right. What did I look up? Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's right. So
Mountain Dew, anything with
stuff.
yellow 5 in it. Purists will say, hey, this is tested on animals, therefore we don't allow this ingredient. So it's man, it's way more restrictive in my opinion than keto, because keto is just all right, get out the carbs. What is low carb, right? Vegan is all right, is this ingredient have any kind of animal connection at all? So it was really interesting to do the research and look into, all right, what's vegan, what's not vegan. I can only imagine how hard it is for your average person that's trying to be vegan
every day.
And maybe they eat something that has yellow 5 in it and they're oh my gosh, I'm a horrible person because I thought it was vegan, or so I got tricked into eating it.
You just always have to have something ready, like food or a drink, so that if we go somewhere. And you have
to trust people. You have to trust, let's just say the chef is yeah, there's no egg or milk or butter in it. But what if they really did? How would you ever know? And then you're man, if you do find out, do you feel guilty about it? Are you upset? Do you go yell at the person? Especially if you're doing it for moral reasons, which I totally respect and understand. People who don't want to harm animals. I totally get that.
Yes.
But can you be perfect at it?
Well, and here's the thing about Drew. You were perfect. I think you were probably, I think it's fair to say you were probably more perfect than most people following any diet. You were extremely diligent about reading every label, and you really took it very, very seriously. I mean, every once in a while I'm come on, can you just eat that? Drew's no.
The devil. Seriously.
Every once in a while I'm come on. I've even said to him, nobody would know. Just eat that. Nobody will know. You're trying to gain weight. And he's no, Julie, 100%. So, yeah.
So let's talk about this week. So this week was interesting. I gained 2.5 pounds on the scale. Gained about half an inch in my waist and my hips. So things are increasing. Things are going up still.
Yes.
And this week I felt not as... So I actually felt pretty good on keto and paleo. Decent. Keto was good because I was in a state of ketosis, so my insulin wasn't spiking and crashing. It was pretty flat throughout the whole week. My sleep improved. I lost 2.5 pounds of water weight mostly, but I felt decent on keto. And then paleo was mostly whole foods. It was just meat and fruit and bars. Meat, fruit bars. That's pretty much all I had. So it wasn't a lot of processed, this stuff, Anyways, and drink soda during paleo week. No sodas allowed. Keto or vegan week, there's a ton of junk food that technically fits into that category.
I know, and it's really annoying to have junk food around all the time. It's so hard. It's so hard for me. Freaking Oreos. I told you at the beginning of vegan week, you better hide those Oreos. And you did not.
She would sneak 4 or 5. I'm hey, where'd this
10.
is halfway gone. What happened? And she's I don't know what you're talking about. There was a little hole, and she tried to cover it up. She tried to patch it back together.
Oh yeah, I cut a hole
I wouldn't
into
notice.
it.
I'm Okay, if you want an Oreo, just ask and you can have some. Like,
well,
you don't
I'm not
need
gonna ask. I'm just gonna eat it, especially
so
if it's in my kitchen.
Well, technically, it's my food. So I will say this though, like I notice my libido is dropping. I do feel like, man, I'm just so tired. Like I want to put the girls to bed. Let's go to bed really quick, or let's just go to bed.
And I'm sure all the parents
can relate.
Tomorrow. It's different the week we have the kids.
Yeah.
Everything is different. And in general, we're more tired. I mean, it's, so we would have to stay up a lot later. We always get up earlier the weeks we have the kids. So we've had the kids this last week. So there's that. But
I just did the freaking Oreo challenge. Like I don't feel good for at least, I would say 6 hours after that. It's not like or like when I did the pasta challenge this week, I'm just like, look, I'm not comfortable at all. And like, that's the thing is like, it makes me feel, I lose my confidence in myself where I'm just like, I don't feel sexy at all right now. Like I have my moments where I'm like, I still got it. But then other times I'm just like, I just don't feel my best. Like when you're freaking bloated and you've been blowing up the bathroom all day, like you just don't feel, don't feel good. And I will say this, another TMI, like my stools are way looser when I eat tons of sugary carbohydrates, whether it's vegan food or not.
I wasn't expecting that.
Keto and paleo, my digestion was actually decent.
Yeah.
Like poops were solid. Now it's like.
Okay, you brought up something interesting though. Last thing? What's the last thing?
Oh, this is the last thing.
Okay. You mentioned your self-confidence.
Yeah.
Do you think going into this journey, I know going into this journey, Drew, is like, I'm a different person now. 10 years later, I've grown a lot. My body image is not my self-image anymore. Do you still feel that way? Or has it surprised you that you're actually more self-conscious than you thought you would be?
No, I'm way less self-conscious than I was back then. Like I know back then this was like traumatizing, like PTSD almost, where I'm like, I can't have this body. Like people are gonna think of me differently. Now I have moments of that where I'm aware of it and I catch it. Like when we're in Arizona and I'm like, man, this shirt's so tight. I'm sweating everywhere and just like I don't smell good. Like I just like there's a different feeling about myself. But I would catch myself and be like, this is temporary. Like I know this is temporary. I'm not gonna be stuck here forever. So that helps me get through those moments where I'm like aware of it. I catch it, I see it, but I don't attach myself to it. And I think that's the biggest difference this time around is like, and the biggest thing for me is like, I just miss the feeling of being healthy. It's not so much having the body back. It's just, man, I want to exercise again. I want to feel good again. Like I just want to feel like my old self rather than look like my old self. Like the looks will come with living the lifestyle. But for me, it's just like, man, I just don't feel healthy. And I know it's been hard on you. You've cried a couple times this week, not being able to have me hike with you, bike with you, do yoga.
Right.
Like,
yesterday, it kind of took me off guard. Yesterday, I went on another hike with the dogs, as I've been doing, which I love. And the leaves were almost completely down, right? The leaves are pretty much have fallen. And I realized, like, all of fall, like you missed it. And so I got to the top of my hike and I felt pretty sad. I got emotional because I do just every once in a while I miss being able to do that with you, and it seems like it was so far away, and it seems like it's gonna go on forever.
2.5 more months. It's all up here.
For it to be temporary, just kidding.
A year from now, we'll look back on this and totally forget about it. So
I will never forget about this. That is so wrong. But a year from now, he'll still be like making up all the lost time. Yeah. That's what's gonna happen.
All right, you guys. See you next week. More to come. Next week is vegetarian week, so that should be fun. It should be easier.
Is it gonna be easier? I hope so.
See you guys. Ciao.
Ciao.